Gato Perro back with another video. Today I'll be taking a look at the Phat Mojo The Office figurines. Alright, so these has been a very hard set to complete, but I finally found Michael Scott, which is the last piece I needed. And luckily I was let out of work early at one point and I stumbled to Target and they just so happen to have two of them, so lucky me. So I finally get to talk about these guys, and I've looked it up on YouTube and it seems nobody has completed the set, and if they have, there's no actual full-on video review of these guys, so let me be the first. So we'll take a look at Michael Scott's box. On the inside it says, "That's what she said," and on the back it's a picture of Pam and a quote that's way too long, so I'm probably gonna mumble by reading it, so I'm not gonna bother with that. Pam herself in the front. Inside it says, "I really like working here." On the back, it's a picture of Dwight. It says, "You couldn't handle my undivided attention." And then Dwight himself over here says, "Don't underestimate me," with a picture of Michael Scott's figure on the back that says, "Would I rather be feared or loved? Easy, both. I want people to be afraid of how much they love me." I've been really anxious to get these guys open, so join me as we reminisce on The Office. Let's kick things off with Pam Beesly. First thing you should know is that across all three figures, they are all closer to the 5-inch scale, which makes them way shorter than most of us collect in the 6-inch scale. So here he is as Spider-Man right next to her, so she's barely up to his shoulders, and they're more the 6.5-inch scale, but you're not going to be able to fudge them in anything. They're more so going to be in their own thing. But yeah, these are nice little figures. Something you should know right now, and that carries on across all three of them, is that generally the details are good, and overall representation of the actors for the show is accurate enough for the scale. And these are only $12.99 retail, so don't expect much other than the general likeness, but it's still a really nice piece to have for the show, because I find these to be a lot better than having pops that don't have much character, especially because of the face design, just with a couple eyes. And I think they're a lot better than the bobbleheads that Phat Mojo's produced, because they're kind of fugly looking. So Pam, she's really good looking. There are a couple inconsistencies, like her hair wouldn't be down normally, because usually that would just lead Michael to make some inappropriate comments. I feel like it should be not in a ponytail, but just more businessy looking, but the color is alright, and she's got her makeup, and the eyes are painted really well, and her eyebrows. If you get a chance to look through many of these, just make sure you pick one with the best paint. And her blouse does have details of like stretching and wrinkles and buttons and everything. And she does come with little accessories. You can see you can fit them in her hand. She has her paint palette, which is more prominent during the episodes when she's painting the mural in the warehouse. And in her right hand she has the coffee pot that Jim gave her for Christmas, that had all the little extra added gifts on the inside. It's even the accurate color, and it looks pretty accurate to how it looked on the show. Moving on to the dress that she has on, I think this is probably the most disappointing part of the figure. Oh wait, she has a waist swivel? No way. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I didn't know that until just now. Okay. Aside from the waist swivel, which just really surprised me, I think they dropped the ball. These figures don't have much articulation, but I feel like they could have just cut to where her legs would be. They could have just cut the articulation to at least give her the movement of going frontwards and backwards, because now I can't have her sitting at a receptionist desk. But you can see she does have very pale legs, like she does, and even has the detail of the buckles on her shoes. And I don't know why I find it weird to see her wearing heels, because I thought she was known for her white Vans or something of the sort like that, for the whitest sneakers. That's right. So I think I'm just having a brain fart. I'm pretty sure she does wear heels sometimes, but for some reason I just remember her winning the Dundee for whitest sneakers. So I guess I'm used to her having white sneakers. So as far as articulation goes, she does have a head swivel. Her arms will go up and down and forward and back. I'm very surprised that she had a waist swivel. I had no idea until I looked at the seam line just now through the camera. Her legs are very unique to her. They only swivel at the bottom of the dress above the knee, and that's about it. So you can only adjust her foot stance, and she does stand pretty well, but you have to finagle with it to make sure the feet are facing front ways enough to the point where she doesn't topple over. And there we go. That's Pam for you. Let's talk about Dwight Schrute. So this guy is really fun and he has really cool accessories. I think the only weird thing is that they gave him silver glasses, which I'm actually watching an episode as I'm recording this right now where Dwight tries to turn his back on Michael in the 3rd season. And I think I knew what they were going for because like the first half of his glasses were gray, but then the back half are black. But it's not really a big deal because I do like the expression they gave him. He does look like he's giving a smirk, a half smile, very cocky. He does have the parted hair, and I think that might be a separate piece because it's painted really well. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's a separate piece. He's got his sideburns, the back of the head over here, and he's got his trademark yellow shirt, and his tie is painted really well. It's got black and brown. He's even got his calculator watch. I'm not too sure what this is, but this might be some kind of a walkie-talkie or radio. And he's got over here his pants, nice wrinkles. He's got his belts painted on. Here's the back. The shoes are really well detailed enough because they got laces and they got no soles, but just trimming around the sides. So his accessories are really cool, and he can hold them in both his hands, just like Pam. And one of his accessories is his bobblehead version of Dwight that Angela gave him for Valentine's Day. And it's surprisingly super detailed for something so small because his face looks really good on that, and even the glasses and the base on the bottom, he even has legs. So that's really neat. And then he has nunchucks, which is really cool. I don't particularly remember what episode he had nunchucks in, if he did at all. But knowing Dwight, he just has a bunch of weapons scattered around the office, so really neat. They don't have any detail though. I don't know why they're all brown. I can understand this being the brown color that it is, but I feel like this should be silver with black. So Dwight probably has the best look overall. I'll get more into that when I talk about Michael, but his articulation is as follows. His head does swivel side to side. His shoulders will go up and down. He does not have a waist. That might be due to the detail of the little stuff on the side of his pockets. His legs do go forward, and they don't really go back. They hit his butt. His ankles are able to move side to side so you can adjust his stance. So he stands really well, and it looks cool. And you can kind of get him in an action pose. Maybe, not really. Something like that. Alright, let's move on to Michael Scott. And here we got the world's best boss, Michael Scott, looking pretty cool. He distinctly has wrinkle detail on his forehead. His hair is parted off to the side. Looks really cool, just like he did in the show. No real face expression, but it does kind of look like he's smiling. And in his hand, he's got his Dundee Award, which, much like the bobblehead that Dwight came with, is super detailed. And I can't even believe this because you can see the little dude holding the briefcase in his hand, and he's walking. And he's got the platform, and the only way he can hold it is by grasping it on the little guy itself. So just be gentle with that because I feel like it probably could break off the base. And then on his other hand, he's got the world's best boss mug. So it actually is hollow, and you can't hold it by the handle, as you can see. It's really cool. So you can hold it like that. He's got his tie detail with the checkerboard pattern with blue and black. White shirt underneath. I did open the one with the best paint. The other one has a little bit of blemishes on the side of the shirt. So I opened up the best one, so you can see it's a little sloppy. But that's just me being nitpicky. We got his pants, wrinkle detail just like Dwight. And he does have different pairs of shoes. So my only weird thing about this Michael Scott is he looks short, but he's not. The only reason why he is kind of short. Notice the detail of the one button right there. But yeah, because of the fact that he's wearing his coat or his jacket over his shirt is making the torso appear longer than it is, and because of the cut articulation over the legs begin, it makes his legs look stumpy. For example, compared to Dwight, you can see that they're the exact same height, but Dwight not having a jacket on means that his legs are more proportionately longer and more accurate to human anatomy. So it's not too big of a deal, but it does make him look a little weird and stumpy. So his articulation is his head can move side to side, shoulders forward and back. There is no waist swivel. His legs will kick forward, and not so much back, and he also has ankle articulation side to side. And that's it, guys. That's the 3 figures that have been released so far by Phat Mojo. And there seems to be no indication of there being a Series 2 at all, which is really disappointing because these are really neat figures that represent a show that I really love and lots of other people love. So I highly recommend you pick these up just for display purposes and, you know, just to represent that our love for the show, basically. They're really neat. The Michael Scott particularly, as I said, is hard to find. On eBay, I saw him going for 50, if not higher, and if that, he's probably like just barely any sellers that even have him at all. So check Targets, Walmart, stuff like that, and good luck. And yeah, man, love this show. I really like these figures. They're really neat. I plan on making my own Scranton branch diorama of The Office. So whenever that gets done, or whenever I start, I'll probably document it or show the end result. So I'll catch you guys later in another video. Gato perro.